It's ready. You're live now. So first open budget.
Let's open the public hearing for the budget.
Public comment, no public comment, so move on to the regular meeting.
Close the meeting then. All right, let's open the board meeting and sign approve last month's minutes.
They are in that folder right in front of Josh. It's just the budget. Oh, I thought, because I had to, bank recs. Yeah.
Vernon? Having some, you have to pay.
Not burning.
Jason? I knew that too. No.
My dad, but then there's the brother, so it's like.
I didn't think about that.
They could be friends or they could be.
Sorry, Jason?
Yeah.
I knew that too. That's.
Someone. Since some of it- Okay. There have been quarrels for the past 20+ years between my parents and the neighbors about property line. The neighbors didn't want to pay for a survey, whatever the situation was. Dad's been renting to own. That gal didn't want to pay. Dad didn't want to pay for it and risk her benefiting from it if something did happen. So it's just been a quarrel all through the years. We managed to pay the house off after Dad passed. Paid to have a survey done once it got deeded over to net. We find out we are correct, okay? Now, here's where the somewhat pettiness part is coming in. Their big pole barn is like a half a foot over our property line. Their garage is like almost a full foot. Their fence back there is about 6 foot, and they have some shrubbery and stuff. So, we're just basically wanting to either come to some sort of an agreement to sell them a little strip to give them that and take care of it, or we're basically just put up a fence that runs down our line. And talking to attorneys and stuff, they say that we need to bring it up to a town board meeting first. So. I had 3 different attorneys. 3 different attorneys. Each one of them said, have you brought it up to town board meeting? I said,
Not our issue at all.
well, that's what I questioned when I did sit down with them. So I'm like, okay, you get 3 of them tell me that.
The only issue I don't think there is would be if there's a town right away if you build a fence up. I don't think there is, probably not one back there.
Okay, so for instance, the old alley.
Yes. Because you gotta go work on something, you gotta have excavator or something in there, you gotta have free.
Decent. It's not necessarily. Yeah, I think it's. I think the market at some point, if you get to the point you're. We're gonna have to come out anyway, because there's water goes through there. We're cool. Again, I was just doing what I was doing basically. So as far as the town is concerned, no business of yours, don't need to be involved, not gonna be involved.
As far as the property line.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good morning, man. I appreciate your time. Great. Yep. Great.
What you guys doing on the 600 queue out there? guys in the room that work and, I can't turn it around and shut off, so. I think it's gonna shut it off tonight, and she didn't have to take care of it, she got going there, but. I'm willing to put the deposit down, and be turned back in the next 30 days, so she can get moved out. If that's what it thinks, I don't know. Yeah. So, I'll make the offer and. You guys can figure out what someone did.
It's a payment.
Like, I don't, my personal opinion, you can't put a deposit down because it's not be paid in full.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. That's what it is. So,
You shut her off, and she's gonna move. I just live there with no water.
I understand your situation.
Right.
I understand that.
So I'm just saying, if that was an option, I would be looking at in that respect. So that, you've got a $300 deposit. And once it goes into that, somebody should shut the water off. There's no way that you should get to a $3,000 water bill without being shut off long before that.
Yeah.
And that's not up to me. I can't shut somebody else's water off or, I don't have to. That's all I had. If I could help in that respect, I will, but you guys do whatever you gotta do. Yeah.
By the ordinance, the ordinance says. Paid in full.
The bottom line is it should never got that far out of hand, but somebody should have it off.
I agree, 100%. I agree.
That's all you need.
It's not.
So it's on me. It's on me because she had huge numbers and we didn't know if there was a leak. It's on me then?
The first couple of them is not on you, but after that, then after she hadn't paid, then yeah. If she could have been shut off.
Because there was so
After.
much dispute as to whether it was a leak. She had no heat, back and forth, back and forth. I just thought that the grace of trying to figure out what was going on would be prudent.
You didn't have a heat. We never did work on purpose. Yeah, for winter. What I'm saying is, you have 0 balance and it's right? And then you got that much and that's. It should have got shut off. That's nothing I can do about that, so. You have to have a good evening.
That's right.
Silent sheet.
Spectrum, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. So I'm just here to talk about, getting back in good standing and getting able to do locates back within the town of Kingman. I'm just giving authorization, to start working and getting you guys paid on the 2nd. I think we're down to 2 invoices left and I've got them lined up to pay that tomorrow morning. So once those are paid, are we good to get back to locating and getting people service?
As long as, this is just my opinion, as long as all the invoices are paid, then I'll say yes, but.
And they will continue to be paid.
Well, I can say what I can do is catch you up. After that, I'm stuck.
Well, the contract, I think, said 45 days, didn't it? You guys signed? If I remember correctly off the top of my head, that you guys have to pay within 45 days?
Yes, and my end, outside of the ones that we just found out about, everything I had was paid up until they took you to our legal team. I think our legal team's still looking at it, but I was told to go ahead and get you guys paid up as of the 2nd. So we're now the 8th. So 6 days, I've kind of come in, I've gotten 2 paid?
Mhm.
And I owe 2, and they were gonna have it done tonight, but
It's just amazing to me that it took us to stop getting locates done to get us paid when this was months in the works.
our cable company
I-
in the United States.
I don't
When the AEP says stop everything because our legal department's looking at it, I stop it. Whenever I'm told, go ahead and start it back up. So, once I'm in good standing, we're good to continue.
As long as Jay calls you or somebody calls you to say that all the invoices are paid, then yes.
So future reference, what they're gonna want is an itemized list of every location by location, because if you don't do that, they'll figure. So,
Do that.
say what?
Just said we can do that.
Okay, yeah, that's it. They're just looking for more specific documentation on where things are happening, how long things are going on. That's it. So, all right,
Yeah, I'm happy with that. As long as we get.
As long as we get paid.
You get paid.
I mean, you can't start until we get the money in our hands.
I'm just pushing for while, but I got told by over to stop, so.
We'll be right back here in 45 days if we don't get paid for the next ones we send in. So
Hopefully it won't be. I'm done building in this town, so I was hands off 3 months ago. I've kind of tried to step in and help out because I know you guys know who I am.
Right.
And you can put a face with a large corporation, but at this point, once I get these paid, I'm gonna let my BAU team doing the drop berries know, hey, this is the expectation. This is what needs to happen. So,
Well, who will be the contact then moving forward?
who do you currently have? Who have you talked to on that?
Only you.
Just me? You've only talked to me?
I have not gotten any other contact.
Jeremy Spanglenberg or Sean?
I thought, was bad, you know, I'm still around, 'cause I was- Actually, I was gonna bring. Brandon tells me.
Would Brandon be the other contact? I have Brandon.
Brandon, Sean is your point of contact. Sean, after, you'll have that, but Sean will be your contact, and then under him is your.
I've heard you forever, so I didn't know if you.
He got told the exact same thing I got told, with his hands off, because the lead there. And then I said, hey, you know, Sean's on vacation right now, I said, I'll step in. You should have everything, we should be current as of tomorrow morning after, I know they were working with you to get that.
He tried to pay today, but his card was accident.
Yeah, he reached out to his VP was gonna put his card on it, but like I said, so you should be current as of tomorrow morning.
All right, thank
And
you.
we don't have to wait for another town meeting, once that's done, we're good to start.
I'm okay with it.
Okay, that's all I needed, thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Your name. Okay.
I'll sign in here. I got caught in traffic with an earlier. I apologize. It's a little ways to get, you know. Here to answer questions and give you a rundown. As Gary tells you how we're moving forward with the project, what it's gonna take with state level. With the final financing. We have a $2.68 million project. Yeah, and we've got $1.5 million in grant money from the state revolving loan. Money we don't have to pay back. We got $700,000 in grant money from Oprah. Leaves us a $480,000 shortfall, which will be made up in a state loan from loan over 1 year's there. Okay, and we're looking at, they've got 9 with the interest rate change again on October 1st, which is interesting because we're being closed a loan. And so they don't know really what the interest rate is going to be. So these are free. The bad news is here is we're kind of need a rate increase to close the loan. Working on that right now, been working on it for a while. Today you've got a special meeting, is that right? Tuesday,
Thursday, 18th. Thursday the 18th, 6:30.
Thursday, 6:30. And I will be there then with the final rate study and with the, I've got to get the actual rates to bond council tomorrow so they can get the actual rate ordinance. They can introduce rate ordinance on the 13th. And then in Indiana, the way that works on raising rates and charges is that you can introduce a rate ordinance at one town council meeting. And you have to advertise in the newspaper or general publication for a public hearing one time 10 days prior to, has to be administered 10 days prior to the public hearing. After the public hearing, you can suspend the rules and pass on one meeting the rates and charges, which will go into effect either on and after the date that you adopt the rate ordinance or at a specific date. With the rates in effect. I like to put the language in, I'll run it by your local attorney as soon as practicable, because then no one has a certain date they have to even this and in effect. That seems to work with most people in the state of Wyoming. The way the state revolving loan fund work on the loan side of it is that we've got a pre-closing, which on the Kindle on the call for anyone else is welcome to be on that, bond council be on there, and the state revolving loan fund. It's the way the state revolving loan fund meets people and money to, it goes through the documents that I produce on the payment schedules and the closing letter and then the rate study and the due diligence, talk through what the payment schedule is gonna be that I've been put together for Kendall as part of the closing letter. And that goes into the official documents. And then she pays monthly what those amounts are that I'll produce on that. And the dates that starts most payments and methods that she can make, which is either ACH or it's for every month. You get this is as complicated as it gets, you get a trust agreement with BNY Mellon Bank, which is the trustee bank for the state revolving loan fund. And we'll make the monthly wire transfers to BNY Mellon Bank. BNY Mellon Bank will make the semi-annual principal interest payments to the SRF. So as long as you're making your monthly payments, everything will go very well. And just do those in accordance with the schedules that will come up with those amounts. The only thing I always caution people, because it happens all the time, is that the state of Illinois will send you a semi-annual payment. And you don't want to do is pay monthly payments and the payment response to the payments that the invoice from the state. Because when that happens, I got to get involved again. I get your money back for you. Get you paid. Very friendly program, be very friendly phone call on and on the send you the details. We're moving at the speed of light to get things moving, and that's because our Oprah grant has a deadline at the end. It's been talking about, I think. And so they're close the SRF prior to, and then give 50 days to close the open month. So and I gotta tell you, guys are doing great. You've got $2.68 million project. We're on $480,000 for it. I'd say it's pretty nice, but it's interesting. The state revolving loan fund loan is called forgivable. They had anticipation notes. I mean, if I raise the grant, it's going to be a grant. You're not giving one out entirely for, but it's set up so it's forgivable about 2 years after you loan out. I want to make sure that the project is completed and we're following through with the loan program, their loan program, as I just feel like making your payments on the 480, and then they'll send you a notice that the $1.5 million has been forgiven. It's set up until then on the books and gateway. I'll help Kendall with that as a anticipation note at 0% interest for the 2 year. Just take that off the gateway. So there's a lot of little reporting things and things we have to do to get moving, but we're moving forward very quickly at this point. Gary, anything you want to add?
Spoken to Mike, he said that probably the filter media, some of them need to be changed, like in the sand filters, maybe in 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah,
For the programming is where it comes to that cost.
I've got a replacement cost from the asset management plan, and that's where we got a replacement cost. I think we didn't see any scan media placed in there. That's not really the physical asset. It's not something you show up on your books and records. If you give me an amount, I'm going to have to be a lot of in there. The other thing I want to talk about, certainly why you're here, is we got 3.5% intensity on this. 8.6, 3.6. There's less than the Indian state revolving loan fund usually between 5 and 10. And some engineers like 10, and then some want to say you want at least 5, and this means you can tell them that you're very comfortable with this. And since this is mostly a tank, and those costs are, then there's probably less need for contingency than a normal project. You're digging things underground, and much more competency when you're underground that hasn't disturbed for 30 years. My favorite example is people say they got an old school building that was there. They had a bunch of concrete, and they had lines right here, and they had big electric. That's a perfect example. But we're not going to have anything. Gary, I'll send you a copy of my, of the assets to have built into about $17,000 a year at this point. And then you just tell me what it, and to that, certainly, immediate replacement is something I put in there before, and you can do it again. I just, I'm not an engineer. I need ideas and how much it will be and how often you're going to do it. But why I was talking about the contingency of 3.6%, I can remember off the top of my head, Gary, what that amount is. $7,000 is. It's for things that you don't know, unexpected items may occur during a project. So if you get towards a point of substantial completion, you're going to find that you have money before. You haven't spent contingencies, get spent. So what I always tell you is that the contingency is, it's there at the end of the project. You've got three things you can do. You cannot borrow. You can have a guest referee and your loan, but I always say, we've already raised rates to pay back the loan for the full amount, or is there any reason not to borrow? You're getting pretty cheap money here. Maybe just you think you have to do things that you need to do. You can use it to pre-fund your debt service reserve, which is already fully funded in rates, so it really isn't gonna help having, or, and this is the thing most people use it for, you can spend it for like projects. So what that means is Gary's gonna talk to you and say, okay, you got X amount of dollars left over. What do you want to do? You want your sand media filter. You want to do, you want there are other items that you need to replace in your water system customers. That were things you would like to have done, but you decided not to do because you're trying to keep costs down. Now you got a little money left over. Also, kind of special projects you can be thinking about. And every time you get a change order, you think, okay, do I want to spend it on this change order, or do I want to get the money back for that special project and think anything. And that's a big carry for us to do as you see change orders. And Gary's going to tell you, this change order is one you absolutely have to do, or this change order is kind of, and it's something we'd like to do, but it's not absolutely necessary, and then you can decide when you should do that money. Don't spend it for special project. I'll give you superintendent's recommendations and what you do. $1,000, which is a nice chunk of change to have, to be able to improve your wants. It's something that you'd like to have done, kind of a wish project, hey, we just had some money, be doing this, they're replacing some main, maybe a pump or two, or well, something that it's add to the useful life of the.
I think this time be difficult just because the review did not cover some of those particular areas that we probably have to go.
There's something, yeah, you can think about it, talk to the superintendent, come back to the council and say, here are the good things we can look at, with that $70,000.
And big. Or down garage. Did they tear out the foundations? Yes.
That was how it was built.
So we shouldn't put it in the area, concrete building part of it.
Nothing I knew about it there before that house. Concrete piers out there for something. Behind the water or something, we'll see.
So we've got a couple things we need to do. We need to close this loan with SRF. We've got to operate charges. I got to file due diligence. We have to have working on that. Again, moving for this very quickly to make the Oprah deadline. So a lot of things happen very quickly. So we didn't lose it. Which is a little bit jeopardy. Unless we can close this one with the other before the end of October, which is again real proposal.
Yeah, so much 17 is currently closing. Yeah.
So I'm here to let you know that we're working on it, things moving forward. We'll introduce the rates and work with Gary and asset replacing. Rates and charges in Indiana are based on Title 8 Indiana Code, which allow you to include certain things in your rates to the what they call your revenue requirements for rates of operation and maintenance. short-term asset replacement, debt service on current debt, debt service, future debt, debt services that are, payment no tax, if you choose to charge it, you never have in the past. And then amount that's called return on utility plant that we use to get activity rates, so we can put rates in effect and I can scale in a year in the last 3 to 5 years. And if you look at your rates now, your cash balances are extremely low. In fact, if we had a bond outstanding, you would, your balances and your operating fund would not meet the minimum requirement, which is 2 months operating for bonds and the state law loan fund, the closed loan, we have to show rates and charges that will pay one expenses of operation, maintenance, repair, replacement, debt service on new and existing loans, and then what we call that debt service reserve requirement if we build it over 5 years and still produce what they call 1.25 debt service. So that is the minimum rates that they will accept that those piece in the rate study show them that we need all that, but unfortunately, we have also raise charges of work to do that. The bad news is raising rate charges. The good news is Kendall's going to have more money to pay bills, and our cash balance is going to go up. I'll have more money to reserve. We're building up an asset replacement reserve, which is like so. I always call this intense budget, and I'm going to show you how Kendall can transfer money on a monthly basis to the depreciation account, and that depreciation account will come to you and a couple of times a year and say, hey, I'm going to buy X, Y, and Z, and instead of Kendall saying, do we have the money? And Kendall saying, no, we don't have the money. We'll say we've got this money in the depreciation account. This is the money going in. These are items we're paying for, and these are the items that like to replace this year. Decide not to replace this item. It really comes up with we've got a superintendent's budget for the things that we should not replace. We've got a budget for debt and paying off the debt obligation, and we've got the budget for Kendall to pay every day in ordinary Mondays.
Would we raise the rate all one time, or do we do it over a period of time?
Great question. It's only so long they can keep not paying rates and charges. Everyone says, hey, can we base these rates? And I've got to let's talk a little bit about rates that we issue. The rates that are coming in based on the rates and charges monthly, and then we've got what we call an annual spending plan. And that spending plan debt service, the short-term asset replacement, those are things that go on. And I've got to show state law that we have a rate in effect, the operator, those things are in effect, that will produce revenue that is efficient for payable side. That's a state question. How soon do we need those put those rates in effect? So we phase those rates in phase 3 or 4 years. And this means that it's 3 or 4 years until we actually are charging the rates that are required that made those. So I can push them off a little. I can't push them off 2 years because he asked for our home acceptance. So basic answer, and the best answer is bite the bullet, pull the Band-Aid off, do it all at once. Your cash balance is very low right now. It's very low for utility size. It'll be best to raise the rates all at once, getting to start collecting money, build your fund balance, reserves against contingency, and breaking down.
How soon do we start paying back the loan?
Uh,
Like after the project's done, or we start as soon as we sign the paperwork? How does that work?
The loan's gonna be 480,000. These are great questions. The loan interest starts to be which is the end of October. Since it's the end of October, I'm going to put your payment schedules like the 10th of November. And we'll be making her first payment about the 1st of November. And that the best I can do in the meeting schedule requires, that you make your first, principal payment within, 12 months of the loan closing. And, they require also be on January, July, payments. I'm gonna set your principal payments to be, semi-annual on July and January. The first one, first from October, I can get through to July, probably July would be the first principal payment, that's from San Christoph, the first interest payment will be January 1st. So you have to structure that with the actual payment schedule for Kindle to make on a monthly basis. I'm gonna push off as much as I can, that first year's payment, so it's gonna be a little different than the rest of them. To give you a chance to build up some money and collect full rates and charges. If we, it would be best if although the rates and charges go into effect as soon as practicable, if we put those rates and charges in effect as soon as possible. And that would mean, the first full billing cycle after, we would adopt them, which would probably be in October. I can probably, and it doesn't help me that your cash balance is low because I don't have any money we can pay with in cash on hand. I'm really looking at the amount of money we're bringing in to be able to pay the, I can probably, if you'd like, I can push the, we can probably push the implementation of rates off until January billing. So I can do that, or would you like me to put it in sooner?
I probably needs to go in a little sooner.
Sooner the better, but if you want to try to push it up after Christmas, some people with that. We can put it with January billing, even some first bills out in January. Beyond December consumption. What's the council think?
I think it's gonna be really hard on people rolling it all out at once, is my concern.
Average, 4,000 gallons. Sewers. The state law and wind fund makes me look 4,000 gallons because that's wind environmental management, so it's difficult for a residential customer in Indiana, but it would be 5 in like came in most of my companies. Say probably 3,000, probably Kindle's gonna say 3,000 for of a typical monthly consumption for a customer. At that, it's $33.30 at current rates, just your water bill. And it might go up. It might go up $15 a week.
Last time you raised rates.
Would that be one of the
Recent
lower
or
rates,
year?
Kendall? Because we had the lower rates for taking.
We didn't know, because we didn't hurt the customer that.
No. So we're gonna adopt this rate increase at the October.
I don't know if we've advertised for the public hearing yet. It may be October meeting. We have to have, there's a 5-day remonstrance period on rates and charges in Indiana. So any, and I'm talking here like an attorney, your attorney's here and he keeps looking at me. It's, hopefully he's agreeing, but if he's not, I hope he speaks it forward. But it's, and I'm gonna leave him my business card right here. So if you have any questions for me, he can call me. We've got what's called a pre-closing schedule with the State Revolving Loan Fund that the closing is going to be at the end of October, and I apologize, I have those dates. 17th, okay. 10 days prior to that would be a pre-closing date. The 3rd, thank you. And that is the date that anyone's welcome to participate on, but I have to be on that. Kindle has to be on that. Our bond counsel has to be on that. Your attorney can be on that. And the SRF staff will be on that, explaining the terms and conditions and responsibilities of the loan and going through the documentation. I've had rates that, had a remonstrance period that pass after the pre-closing before, but they have to, be adopted, and that 5-day remonstrance period has to pass prior to the closing date on the 17th. So,
5 days after you said, or 5 days before?
before it all has to be, the rates have to be effect, and the remonstrance period has to, pass before our closing on.
So can we get this in the paper pretty quickly and vote on it at our October meeting, which is the 6th, I believe, or 7th, whatever?
That would be great.
But you're meeting on the 3rd, right? On the telephone conference? Then that following Monday will be our regular meeting.
Yeah, we would certainly want to advertise that. I don't know. It's a 10-day publication requirement, has to be in the next 10 days prior to the 6th. You make it work on the 6th. Not working.
You're talking so fast, Steve. I'm saying so many dates and numbers and stuff, but I don't have a clue. You're talking way too fast for me. And, so October 3rd is a phone conference, is a pre-closing date. I have to be on that call. I have to advertise what the rates are gonna be. Am I gonna know that before I send an advertisement to the paper?
You're gonna, yes.
Okay.
And
So that has to be in, they only come out on Thursdays. So I would have to know what the rates are gonna be, what you want me to advertise in order for it to come out. Probably 25th. I think the latest I can let her know is the 22nd, so next week would be better, so I can let her know sooner than that, just so I be sure I don't miss the deadline.
you'll know by Thursday what rates are. I think I'm confident in telling them by Tuesday. So I'm close. I'm not done yet. I want to come and talk to you and talk to Gary and meet the council. And know what things are looking like on this, and I'll let you know what the schedule is. And again, I apologize for talking quickly. The other side isn't here 2 hours. You don't want me to be here 2 hours. I probably am glad to slow down.
Yeah, I can't write anything down. I'll just have to listen to the video again, but I'm swimming.
I apologize.
It's okay.
Any questions that you have, Kendall?
You'll have to hold my hand through the whole thing, tell me what I need to do and when I need to do it, because I have a million other things I'm doing in here, so.
I'm going to use a schedule for you, Kendall. It's called the transfer schedule.
Yes, and I'm used to that with sewer, so every month I transfer to the depreciation and the bottom interest, so I'm used to that, that's
Yeah.
fine. But I have to have it,
I'm doing a little different this time, and that I think it's easier. I did this a couple years ago. Every month. And I think it's
Yep.
they paid that.
I put it on my schedule of events for the month, and that's fine. But I have to have dollar amount by date for the water, or for the sewer, it's by the 15th of every month, will that be the same? Because if so, I'll just do it the same, everything, both of them at the same time.
Yeah, they like wire transfers and ACH now.
No, I just transfer, so I transfer from my operating fund to those funds, correct? Yes, so I do that, no.
BNY Mellon. This one.
So don't deal with another bank.
The other one is divided. The student loan.
Right,
And roll on. I got your bank.
yes,
On a single annual basis.
yes,
This is the state law non-fund in the process, but different. They require you to make a physical wire or ACH transfer every month on the 10th to the 15th to BNY Mellon Bank. You know, be a tenancy certificate and an agreement with BNY Mellon Bank that we'll sign at some point in the near future. So, and this is fine. I expect you to call me. I want you to call me. And certainly, when the first payment is due, I want you to call me and say, Steve, okay, here's what I think I need to do. Please walk me through this to make sure. And then, and we'll do that. Because I want to make sure that, and it's fine to do that for me every month for the whole 20 years of the loan if you want to.
oh, I'll
Just
be
make
late.
sure I need that. But, you know, if there's ever a point if you have a question, I want you to call me. I'm not gonna send you a bill, but I'm gonna answer your phone call.
Yeah, because they can't afford it, Steve. They can't afford it.
That's fine, I know that. And that's what I'm trying to raise your rates and get a little money and to make your dream.
Oh, it won't make my job easier. I promise you, it will not make my job easier.
I understand.
I just got a text that, you know, they're coming after Kingman. I got 2 people coming after Kingman now. So it's great. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so, and I feel for Clerk Treasurer, you know, we're gonna go through this public hearing, I'll come to the public hearing and all. What's gonna happen is that, first one, those rates, going, everybody's gonna get Kindle call. Yeah, they're gonna say, my bill's on. They're gonna say, you know, it's never been this much, but it is this month, my bill's on. And you can explain, like, half the customers in town. And the reason why it's gonna take a ton of time in the first couple of months. It's losing the effect, yeah. Yeah.
So the public hearing will be 10 cities.
For the rate increase.
Yes. And then after system rule, the full council here, system. And 2 readings, 1 meeting instead of waiting for 2 meetings.
I think you have to have their meetings in 5 days.
No,
Or-
the 5 days, it's called a month period, that's the time. No one had ever had a meeting for city and town. Not for city and town. And those 5 days, that's after we get adopted. But it's just a period in which until it passes the state law, you have to. Absolutely, but because something could happen. Make sure before they post it. So never had a long default yet, and they don't want to. I would say they're a bank, things like that. You can pay them back. But also a bank that gives out a lot of money, like in this case, it was $1.5 million. And you're one of the few. You know, everyone would like to get $1.5 million out of the state of Alabama. Very few actually do. So we did very, very, very well at the state of Alabama.
Thank you for your efforts on that, by the way. I know you worked hard on that. So
I do. Christy did too. And I work with them. I send them lots of information about how poor we are in Kingman. You know, they look at median household income. We have a very low median household income, and that makes a big difference for us. And then I sent them information what post-project user fees are going to be if we in fact have to finance all this ourselves. You know, I'm showing them just how bad it can be here and what an impact it would have on the residents of the town. And they listen to that, and they know I represent a lot of small towns and cities in Indiana, and Indiana's not a rich state. And a lot of people in the same situation, you know, people working for people, you know, it's hard to pay bills, and they don't need an increase. And I'm cognizant of that as I do these rate studies. And I know what has to happen from an accounting point to put you in good shape to have money to pay all the bills we need. I know what it's going to take for the yes or that to sign off on it, because they have people reviewing that, and they ask me detailed questions. Why are we doing this, Steve? What's going on here? Right now, it's such a problem that they've postponed the closing twice. They told me if I have to postpone it the 3rd time, they're not going to do it again. And it's nobody's fault. And they say it's nobody's fault. It's rates their sewage at $150 a month on sewage. And it's just another small town like you, but they got a $17 million project, and they didn't get any grant money. So it's been a struggle with them to make that work. But you're doing much better. I'm trying to make minimal. I'll give you options. I don't want to be the guy that comes in and says you got to do A, B, or C. I want to explain to you why you need it. I'm going to give you options, and I should be absolutely minimum. I'm going to recommend you do, and then you can choose what you want to do. And next time. shame. Short answer, and I'll speak slow. Speak quickly.
So that's on the 18th, you'll present these options, correct?
Yep.
6:30.
Yeah, it all has to be for public hearing, and that's,
October 6th.
yeah, October sixth, and
Okay.
that's the key thing, because that's in. I'll be there, I'll be on the 18th, checking stage, we'll be there on the 6th, because I always make public meeting, because that's when the public comes and comments, and then that's they come in the advertising, and they see that, and they'll come here, and they'll fill the house before, and I like to sit there and tell them why we need this, and
Well, I hope they, but the unfortunate thing is we have one publication. We used to get it for free. We don't get it anymore. I don't think anyone will be here because I don't think anyone will know. They won't know until they get the first bill. So,
I can tell you this, that,
I mean, I've been telling people they're gonna go up, but
Yeah, no charge, no charge, no charge, it'll just be, if after the rates go into effect, and after you get, after everybody complains, you get a lot of people, I'll come to another meeting, I'll come down and through it, and say, it's already done, but here's what we did, and here's what had to happen, and here's the benefit, we got all this free money, if we didn't do this, we wouldn't get any free money. If we didn't get any free money, then we still have to do the project, because of time. And
Yeah.
And it's gonna be so much more, but I'll come back.
well, I'm just saying that's typically how it goes. They don't know until they get that first bill. Maybe when they see a tower going up, that'll help.
I'll be back on 6th. Is that your next meeting, the 6th?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so the 18th, are we meeting here with Christie and, I mean, who else? The special board meeting, and what's going down that?
The 18th is. Your option, well, actually, the public hearing is the 6th, and we'll send the rule, and we'll adopt on the 6th.
I'm just trying to nail down what's happening on the 18th.
Yeah.
September.
We're having this meeting, whatever, what ends on. Yeah, September 18th.
September 18th, is that your next scheduled meeting?
No, I was calling from, Lisa at,
I can log in.
Lisa, I have to get back to the. Yeah, Sarah, we had a special meeting the week of the 15th, and she told me, let her know today, nothing was about. What's going on.
Let me talk to Lisa and Sarah, what I'd like to do. So you can't keep it, I can't keep it, you've got, your next meeting is when?
Next regular town board meeting is October 6th, which is also the public hearing for the rates. But we have to advertise them 10 days prior to that.
So
My email from Sarah Correll said we just had a call with SRF and the team working on the town's water finance. In order to meet the grant deadlines, we will need the town council to hold a special meeting the week of September 15th. Can you and Brandon help us schedule a meeting that week and let us know what day will work best for everyone no later than Monday? We will need a forum of the meeting and it can be held any time of day, but that's all I know. I just want to.
that would be.
Exactly.
Option.
It's sure big, I don't know what it's coming for.
So I'm sure is on this meeting, it'll just be, it'll be a 3-page rate ordinance, it'll just be 2 pages of rule, 1 page of schedules. It will say, what the rates currently are and what they will be. And once we introduce that rate ordinance, we can notify newspapers of the public hearing, use a public notice that has to be put in the newspaper, which includes the rates and charges. And
confirm that the 22nd is soon enough for it to come out on the 25th. Either it's in the window. Pretty sure Monday, it comes out Thursday.
You told Sarah Lee to the was thick.
They didn't ask.
Last week, I said, yes, October 6th.
The meeting.
So, you would introduce the rate, and that's the same time I'm, monthly rates, your options are, we can advertise rates at one level. We can adopt rates at a lower level, but we can't advertise rates at a lower adopt rate at a higher level. And the public hasn't been used to the high charges. So a lot of times I'll put in the highest rate that I calculate. You can add the other things about this. So, or we can here, I'll show you what your different options are. You can have a different schedule. Appendix A, which are the actual rate schedules. Each of the options that we have inside the operation. That would be some rate saving plan. There's what?
Very much.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, it's under control. Let's think we know what our plan is. Everybody working here. So at least either result, which is in this 2.68 million. You need to pay back 480,000, and that is a huge success story. That's a lot. I talk a lot. I apologize for that. I talk fast, Kendall. I certainly apologize.
I'm dumb, and so
That's enough. I do this every day. It's so easy for me, you know. If you did every day, Kendall, you'd spend my head too. It's just doing new things. And it's just work. So I'm here, Gary's here, Yvonne Campbell's here, you're here to explain things as you have questions. And as Kendall knows, I'm with my business group here for the council as well. My cell phone's on there, call me the cell phone anytime. I get people that call me on Sunday evenings. And, it's not a problem. I come to the phone all the time. If I don't get back to you, but if you have a question, I want to make sure you know the answer for it. And I can think about it. So it's call. Cell phones are the best way to get a hold of me. If you don't do that, then just text me on the cell phone number, and I'll respond to texts. Texts are easy because in writing, some people like to read it over a couple times. That's a good thing too. If I've talked enough here, I'll shut up and answer questions, or Gary go on and talk, or the meeting go on. I just want to give you the what's going on, what would have to happen if this closed.
I do appreciate you helping and trying and getting us the money that we got, the loan and everything. Greatly appreciate that.
So,
Thank you for coming today.
you see me again, 18th, you'll see me more, you want to see me.
All right, Gary.
Gary's been.
So you mentioned an asset management plan. Is there a way I can get a copy of that? Or who did asset management plan for the water?
Wells and units. Something
There.
no, he did the PER. He did the PER.
that makes it my name, you know.
Christy will know. I'll text her right now and ask her. She answers to. So there's already been an asset management plan done for this water project.
Perfect.
I thought you did that. I'm like,
You make it use it again, use the technical.
Manager.
Financial part. I mean, I don't see.
so is it complete? See, I don't even know.
Yeah, they got.
You did the financial portion of the AMP.
I was thinking Derek did it. I was thinking Derek too did it.
That's not.
Supposed to be two physical copies, one have been, and then in the town building, one down in plant. They're big, it helps, they're big.
Like three.
Might be on that shelf somewhere.
See, it says, something.
It's over to the right.
The one on the top. Let's get something on, the very top shelf.
Gary said the
Spec.
designated agency. Water.
Yeah, it's Christie. There she is. Okay, so I wanted to go through this letter here. We received bids obviously on August 28th. The apparent responses and responsible bidders were for Division A, which is the elevated storage tank, it's Pittsburgh Tank and Tower Group. The base bid is $678,500. And by the way, I did a 100,000 gallon pedestal type tank in Advance in 2008. The bid was 463,000. So we'll give you an idea of how much it costs. And it's over 17 years. Division B was the distribution system work. That was Dash Shell Contracting Incorporated. The low bid was $76,925. Division C, treatment system replacement, which was essentially the media replacement, one of the sand filters and the large water treatment filter, and also the new SCADA control system. So that bid was $178,005.83. Pittsburgh Tank and Tower Group, we asked for a mandatory alternate bid for a double ellipsoid multi-tank legged type tank. And their bid for that was $52,000. So there would be a savings of approximately $125,000 or so to go with the legged tank. They also submitted a voluntary alternate. They kind of hit me with this just a few days before the bid opening for a mini composite tank in the amount of $1,605,000. And I'll kind of go through a wide presentation. They to show you what that consists of here now, but overall, we had 11 bids, 10 different contractors. We got 3 bids for Division A, 5 for Division B, and 3 for C. I gave you a copy of the bid tabulations there, which compares all the bids that we received. The pre-bid engineer's estimate was $1,565,000 for Division A, $189,000 for B, and $250,000 for B. So I let you know they're much higher or lower. As far as not was what the bids they received. The total budget construction amount, $2,004,000. Therefore, by selecting the account bidders, the amount of the contracts to be awarded would be $1,933,430.83. This would leave a construction contingency amount of $70,569.17, or 3.65% of the construction amount. As Steve mentioned, I think it's all right, they'd like a little more contingency money than that, but I think I'm pretty comfortable with this project as far as any unknowns that are to be anticipated. And generally, we use 10% contingency during the planning phase. And then once we receive good construction bids, we can cut that back generally with 3 to 5%. So personally, I'm comfortable with 3.65%. Then I list agencies that I discovered in those bids. I did some reference checks from Pittsburgh Tank and Tower. I worked with Caldwell, I worked with Phoenix, but I've never worked with Pittsburgh Tank and Tower. I got positive, good recommendations for Pittsburgh. Also Dash Shell Construction, I got 2 different folks on that who gave me good references. And of course, we worked with Schomburg on the wastewater project, and we know they're good contractors. So it's my opinion that all the bidders, the low bidders, are responsible and quite capable of performing the work. So I think the one decision you really need to make tonight would be to decide whether or not you want to go ahead with a pedestal type tank, or if you want to consider one of these alternatives. The composite tank consists of concrete shaft. They're precast concrete panels, they're circular shape, and so you build the shaft out of that. They show the shaft connection, which looks like they got a steel bar here that fastens the different sections together. The sort of stack or and then they do the tank. They generally fabricate the tank at the shop and then put it together out here on the ground. Actually go ahead and paint the tank on the ground. And then they take the crane and lift the tank up, set it, fasten it to the top of the shaft. Here's what the final product looks like. I'm sure you've seen some of the larger composite type tanks for some of the bigger cities. This is called a mini composite. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it personally, but there's only 2 or 3 of those that have been constructed so far. Maybe another 2 or 3 that are on the books, have design plans and stuff, whereas the pedestal and lake type tank have been around for over 100 years, and they're tried, tested, and through. So, of course, we've discussed a little bit about the pedestal before. If you have money, I think I would lean that way because they're much easier to maintain and paint and more aesthetically pleasing, in my opinion, than what the legging tape. So ultimately, the choice is up to you guys. Any thoughts on that?
Personally, I think I stick with the one we got bid for. What we, the first bid or the main bid, pedestal thing. I like the maintenance issue, not quite as much maintenance.
What's the maintenance on that? The composite.
Well, of course, they're trying to sell us because mine wants Pittsburgh Tank and Tower is the only company that builds these currently. But they try to list the advantages. Some of the advantages are included with the bid. Of course, you have less paint because you don't have to paint pretty concrete tower. As far as the tank goes, you have the option when you get ready to paint again, you can always bring in a trade, set the tank in the ground, sandblast it, recoat it on the ground, and then set it back up on the tower. So those are the advantages that trade lists there. Yeah, one for the pedestal.
It's about halfway in between the two, between the making it.
Not much, but 70.
Yeah.
I'm just confirming the composite, not very many people have one.
Yeah, that's the way to get it picked up. That's probably okay. But yeah,
Was there a warranty on it? From Pittsburgh?
just a 1 year warranty, so. It's just like any other tank. It should be inspected once every 5 years to make sure, you don't need any maintenance and so forth.
I get that.
What was there, a 3-leg tower before? Or that, is this the one?
More.
It's four.
Won't be big as that, yeah. Yeah, the composite tank, you'd save $73,000. Whether or not reduce the amount of financing, you'd probably lose the grant for you if you reduce it to 2.68.
We're not gonna reduce, the estimate grant, we'll keep the 1.5. I can't ever speak to Oprah. I heard Christie talk about situations where, the project cost comes out, you have the ability to back down part of the grant. So that'd be a good Christie question. Hopefully we keep the grant amount, the same from the SRF, certainly SRF, and hopefully from Oprah, which means that if there was a savings in cost, that we either increase the condensing, get more money
Yeah,
in,
that's the other option.
Or we could,
You have 140.
yeah, we could lower the actual cost and there'd be a slight weight impact if we lower the cost. We're thinking not a lot, because you're taking that over 1 year, 120 for that cost coming through, 1/240th in rates on a monthly basis. So not a big weight impact.
Do you need an answer right now?
Mhm.
Can you wait till the 18th? Which is next Thursday.
Christie's has to get at least.
There's a bunch of paperwork that needs to be done.
She's asking for a copy of the contract.
You're gonna save when you put your pedestal up over your leg when you come time to repaint again. It's
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's a difference between a composite and a.
They were about half, it was about half between the leg and the. About 70,000. Yeah.
This is $73,000.
Sure.
Stay with what we've been.
I'm just Larry being here, like 300,000.
Well, Steve, at a good point, we don't need a decision tonight. We can just go ahead and keep the project costs the same. And then if you do decide at some point to go with the other type tank, we'll have more contingency funds. And then at the end of the project, if we don't use those contingencies, we'll just reduce the loan.
That was danger of losing man.
Say that again, I didn't hear. What'd you say?
Oh, I say that way there's no danger of
Okay.
losing any grant, because it costs the same,
I got you.
upping the contingency and stuff as well. And at the end of the project, we decide not to spend, we spend it on what project. But that is not maybe.
And if you would like, Pittsburgh Tank and Power is offered to have somebody give me a presentation. Whatever. On the tank. That was out there to do that.
I guess my question would be, what's it cost to paint a tower like we got versus just one pedestal? What's the difference? Is it $2,000 in difference in painting, or is it like $50,000 difference in painting? See what I'm saying? I mean, because then you're gonna take that over the years of the lifetime of the tank, or the years of the loan, so to speak, and I mean, that's where I'm at with it anyways. Because if I can just spend $2,000 more in paint versus saving $175,000 or whatever it is, I mean, it's no brainer to me.
Of course, because it's new, I try to think, well, always, 15 years from now.
Right.
Some of the reinforcing steel maybe bleeds through the composite concrete panels and you start seeing rust streaks. It could or couldn't happen. Sometimes I think worst case stuff like that, and then.
Where's the closest one at, Gary?
Ohio. You just never know what.
I don't know that we'll even consider a composite tank. I'm more concerned about a single pedestal versus a tank like we got.
Yeah, the lake one's definitely more expensive to paint because you got a lot more extra cran.
I understand that, but I mean, how much would it cost to paint that one like we got versus one like Hillsborough got like you projected? That's what I'm asking. Is it $50,000 difference or the $2,000 difference? I mean, that would be the over the years of lifespan.
So a lake tank versus
Right. What's the increase versus the paint when we have to paint it in 10 years or whatever it is down the road? Because it's quite a bit of savings as far as,
About 120.
yeah.
Very much same last too. So we're talking a lot of tons.
You're not the same pedestal too, right?
What's that?
You're not the same about the pedestal too.
But you don't have all this clearance and all the bolts. Cross members.
Yeah, I'll ask, since Pittsburgh gave us a bid for both, I'll ask them what painting comes. They do have painting listed.
Okay.
On that bid. But of course, that start right at you.
Right.
Really. questions on the water plant? No questions on that? Okay. Moving on to the CCNG project, based on the final construction costs, the town share actually decreased from the time you signed the contract into the project here, it's decreased $4,278.15. So I went ahead and prepared a closeout letter, which needs. And then once we get the canceled check or checks back that in over to contractor Milestone, we can go ahead and put the rest of the closing documents together. When NDOT had already provided you with money for the project, so you're gonna eventually have to pay them back $12,834.46. And they'll send you, after we submit the closeout, paperwork to them, and submit an invoice to the town.
What did we say total, Gary? 24,000? 4,000, 117 something.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's all right.
It was 17 something.
Just try to 18,000.
Yeah. Okay. So that leads me to the next CCMG opportunity to apply is in October. So I don't know if you guys have interest in applying for October this year. If not, the next available
Apply in
time.
October and then do it in the next 2026 year.
Yeah. The next available opportunity is July of next year. And they did change the message, it's 20% now instead of 25, so that provides some advantage.
If you got time to do it, that's my opinion, go ahead and do it. It's, I know you got a water project you're working on too, so.
Yeah, I got time to do it, you got the money. Yeah, available, it's on 20, but. So if you want me to go ahead with that, I think I provided with the.
Nothing
Yeah,
extra.
Yeah, we would apply in October, you probably find out. In January. The asphalt plant sheets and the also. The here, probably.
It's $44,000 with our portion, so.
This time.
Portion is 44,000, I think.
So we got 40%. You got that available.
I think we did.
Oh, we did too.
For NVH right now, we have left 33,000.
Okay.
That's for this year, Kendall?
Yeah, that's what we have.
For
That's
this,
2025.
okay.
After I paid the bill, so we
I
probably
guess we'll have more next year, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be more money.
And it's gonna be a much smaller project. Just Wilkinson and Roberts Road, so it'll be fine.
So it's been letters, engineering. Well, actually, we need to update the titles there. Need to redo the asset management plan, so I need to do page, I think, Wall Street, that has to be turned in by November of this year. The Title VI needs to be submitted by October 1st. And then I think I have a letter for scoping on the project.
Yeah, I got here, I didn't bring that there. I thought we got that next year, so.
Gary, anything else?
And while Gary's here, before he takes off, let's talk, I'm trying to put together, let's talk about the, how the school. Into, yeah. Identify it, so I can, fix it how it is, or what you guys think. Is that all right, Gary?
Do they know any discovery?
Yeah.
Well,
There's a clog in it, for the roots.
Does it need to be bigger?
I mean, right now we have a restriction, that's why we're having it open. I mean, I can't. I'm saying we get it opened up, and I'm saying we won't have an issue, we only have an issue if we have a 2 or 3 rain. Look good, except where the roots are. But I can only get to flag about 15 feet. Is that steel line, is that plastic or? Well,
And replace it.
yeah, I replaced it.
It's clay, I'd rather replace it.
I mean, if we're gonna change it all out, I guess we can make a little size.
Just the 3 letters.
Since the plant's been in, we've only got on 500,000 a couple times. It's done a real good job.
We're getting up to May, or something like that. They're probably stood upside.
There are days like that. I mean, if you're gonna do it, you might as well. Set up the future contingencies too, you decide to add on to that plant.
Estimate.
Yeah. It's pretty close to.
It's not a priority right this second, so if you got our stuff to do, get the next spring job, bring it back, slip it in, so nice.
Well, thank you, Gary.
Exhibiting, I'm gonna send you the short message, looks and stuff.
All right, Bruce.
I did get a hold of that guys that they're gonna come and it's, it's on schedule, they should be.
Tracy's gonna let me know in the morning. She's gonna hear Derek and the AP. She's gonna let me know in the morning.
Yeah.
Did you get all the financial?
Everything. So what's that later?
I was.
Get your name. Also, have to stay there. Water pollution system, once there occurs, it's on the outside. There's a chemical.
Just give me your questions. I'll get to them in a fresh email, not a change.
He found it.
Okay.
On. Oh, so that, Spears coming tomorrow, rebuild the corner, redo the water, so the 3 corners, it's time for that. And what's, other than that? No. Yes,
Did you say rebuild the chlorine room? Is that what you said?
yeah, and replaced a lot of steel 3 corner. Replaced all that frame.
Good guy.
Spread it low.
Penny, you have some?
Yeah, my water bill. I had a leak in my hose. And I'm wondering if I can get him just. Mike's in hospice, by the way.
Sorry to hear that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't hear anything Bruce said, I didn't hear anything Mike said, so I hope I get it on there.
You have pennies that we adjusted our water bill, you know. This is sewer bill on one.
She has a credit.
Yeah, I paid it this morning, so, just whatever was on the bill, but,
$37.25. Much.
I had a leak in my hose.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so her usage is 5,938 gallons. She's usually right at 1,000.
I'm okay adjusting, but it would just be for the, I mean, you have to pay for the water.
Yeah,
It'd be,
that's fine.
it'd be for the sewer part.
That's fine.
I usually only let it, once a year.
Yeah. I think I had. 25 years.
But we can do that. Or all spoke, yes. I guess I can't say for everybody else.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Jay?
Much, called Superior Transfer on Terre Haute, and they come up and give us an estimate, so we had Fruits Fencing give us an estimate to do that. If you guys wanna do it this year, you can wait, you wanna.
I want to do it this year, get it out of this year's budget.
Okay.
I prefer the black, but I was whatever else.
Not that much difference.
Did you say fruits?
Fruits, yes.
Fruits fencing?
Fencing, yes.
What was the quote again?
10, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I got it.
I got 10.
I think Ray said 10 for the black and that,
Around 10.
and I asked you the day if it include demolition. You said, yeah.
Yes.
So what was the decision? I didn't catch it.
I'm for the black.
Black.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that including fixing the gate down to,
$1,500.
he's doing that too, right?
I've been bidding.
So I say just let him do it while he's all here at once, but
Oh, that's fine. Talking about sewer plant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rich.
Attended the Fall Law Enforcement Conference last week. Good conference. I have talked to one guy about helping out to replace the one that we lost. It's Tier 1 certified. He hasn't given me an answer yet, but he's got a lot going on, so I don't really have, not real confident that he's gonna be able to at this time, but we'll see what he says. I did get told today, that we have a Tier 2 certified guy that's gonna be moving into the community. In fact, I think it's a guy that I actually instructed at the academy, on the range. And, so he's gonna be, I guess, reaching out to me. I got tipped off to that today. He's interested in working here part-time. He's already Tier 2 certified, so he'd be able to go right to work.
Okay.
And, I think that's all I have for you.
We don't have anything.
I just asked him to be here. It's, we're going to have the neighbors over and they're not here, so. I don't know what you guys want to do moving forward from that. It's up to me.
Did you read the ordinance? Like,
I've read the ordinance. It's been a while since I read the ordinance.
What you do, brother?
We can file an ordinance violation if they are using it as a residence and exceeding their less than the minimum lot size. I don't know if you guys ever sent anything to the county court before, but it's an option.
There's no fines associated with that ordinance. We move forward without fine.
Maybe for injunctive relief. Like asking the court to order they remove the camper or not use as a residence or.
Mhm.
I mean, I've read the ordinance, but it's been a little.
okay.
Well, it doesn't, there's not a lot of specifics in it, really. Just that a freestanding structure can't be on a lot smaller than 8,712 feet. Something to that effect. So.
He's like camper down in
A freestanding structure.
That's what I really want.
We can maybe adjust and tighten up the ordinances as well, but I think it does, but. It depends on.
I know Mr. Ladd told me that in, like in Lebanon, they can't have a camper parked in the driveway for more than 14 days.
Mhm.
We would get a lot in
Mhm.
that.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people, that's where they park them, that's where they keep them. So there's really no,
Or is it living
but there
in-
is camper
or is it-
storage
or
up here.
living in it.
No, this was parked, like they have, their ordinance says a camper can't be parked, whether you're living in it or not, it can't be parked in a driveway for more than 14 days. It can't be permanently there. So I don't know how far you want to go, I'm just saying that's something he mentioned to me that, Lebanon's been out, it's a place though.
Or libraries are.
They've been living there and that, and it hasn't moved.
3 years, probably going 3 years.
Probably.
Mhm.
Got a leg to stand on, then I would say, well, let's go with it. That's my opinion.
Moved in 3 years.
a long time. I would like to review it and discuss it with Kendall, but I think you're okay moving forward with that ordinance violation, just from what I remember of it.
We can give it to you right now if you want to. But
Stack something by the 18th, we can vote on it and
Sure.
it'll be a public meeting. So wait until the October 6th meeting. I don't care. I'm just not.
Right.
Another 3 weeks ain't gonna make a difference, so.
Do you have an enforcement portion of ordinances? No.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, the state law allows us to fine somebody up to $2,500 for a first offense and $7,500 for a subsequent offense. And, it's not completely uncommon.
25 or
2,500 for a first offense, 7,500 for a subsequent offense. I think you probably need something built into your ordinances that allow the fines and some provisions, but
Yeah, some of our ordinances do have fines. This one particular one just does not.
understand.
Want to study it for a while?
I'll let this study for a while,
Maybe
maybe.
it's the October meeting. I mean, I don't want to rush into
Right,
something.
right.
Maybe
Absolutely.
I want all my T's crossed and I's dotted and all that good stuff.
We can do that.
Good.
Appreciate that.
You want me to give you another copy of that or?
I think you scanned me one
I did.
previously. I just don't have the internet in here.
Right.
I'll have to ask you for passwords.
Just make a copy of it right now.
That'd be great. I kind of figured they'd be here at yellow.
Well, I was
Right in there.
Is it legal to live in a camper with no utilities into it? What do they do with their sewer? None of it? I called the health department and they said there's nothing they can do.
Is the water still shut off? You pulling it there?
No, I left the meter there, hoping to turn it back on, but I'll let check it today.
So same.
Yep.
make sure, like I said, I don't want to get gun home.
Sure.
The T not be
Right.
crossed and we getting.
Absolutely.
Okay. Kendall, what do you have this evening?
We want to renew the CDs that we have at the bank.
Yeah, I say yes.
Yeah. Won't know the interest rate until the day that they renew. I had a guy come and give me a quote on grinding 2 stumps at my house, and I mentioned the 2 stumps at the park, and actually I forgot there's a third tree that's been cut down, so it's about this tall. And I said, well, while you're here, would you give me a quote on those 2 stumps, just because I walk by there every day and wondered about them. So he said he would do them for $350 a piece. Didn't quote the little one because I forgot about it. It was out of sight, out of mind at the time. But I thought, well, he's at my house. You want to have him grind those 2 stumps too. 2 less things Jay has to mow around. Well, his guys have to mow around. And that we get that basketball goal taken down, because that's worthless. We got the money to do it.
We bought the fence. I think that works out everything out.
Well, there's other maintenance money. So it'd be $700.
I'm okay with getting around.
And then, like I said, there's that third one that I forgot about.
It's,
but I was thinking we probably wouldn't charge that much. I mean, my husband would go down and cut it to level with the ground and get it should be a wall to get out of the way. Emerson Tree Service, is that what it's called? Anyway.
Kickstart.
Yeah, anyway. So is that a yes then?
Yes.
And then trick or treating is Friday, or Halloween's on Friday, October 31st. Brooke asked me if you guys decide on a trick or treating night or time. I said, well, that would make sense to me because they could have their trunk or treat that same time. And I think last year we did the same thing. We did it the same night, so they're on. So if you want to set a time, I can let her know. Pardon? 5 to 8. I don't know what time their trunk or treat is, but if it interferes with that, I'll say we can just adjust it, whatever. That's all I have.
Jamie? See, meeting adjourned.
That's what I got to.
Yeah,